To start, El Paso city leaders say the Meta project could bring millions in new revenue, all while creating hundreds of construction and permanent jobs. But as the plans move forward, there are questions about water, energy, and local impact that are already sparking conversation across the borderland. That's off the top.
You were looking at millions of dollars in additional general fund revenue that helps reduce that residential burden.
El Paso leaders are buzzing over Meta's $1.5 billion AI center due to be built on a 1,083-acre plot of land that's west of U.S. Highway 54 off of Stan Roberts Sr. Ave in Northeast El Paso. All of this land, pretty much in between about 1,000 acres of it, for that new data center. But one other really key piece is this infrastructure. Now, you might not be able to hear it where you're sitting, but where I'm standing, there is quite a loud hum of electricity, and this existing infrastructure is exactly why Meta says this is a perfect spot for that data center.
We're looking for shovel-ready site that can allow us to kind of move through the process quickly, robust infrastructure, both electrical, network.
The company says the center will employ 1,800 construction workers at its peak, with about 100 operational workers full-time. So Meta says their consumption will be matched by 100% clean and renewable energy, and that they've paid for new grid infrastructure required to connect the data center, which includes new transmission lines and substations. In a desert city like El Paso, though, there are always concerns about water and energy usage.
In fact, in El Paso, we're going to restore 200% of the water that we use in our operations to the local watersheds.
El Paso Electric says the grid will not be stressed by the new demand because of dedicated transmission.
So a lot of times we have power just sitting there, facilities not being used.
And that the costs of this new center won't fall on residents.
This customer, who we're so excited to have, bears the full cost of what they entail in our region.
Well, Meta says it plans to have that new facility up and running by 2028, and this announcement comes after a massive data center was already approved in Doña Ana County last month. The borderland is quickly becoming a hub for this next generation of tech infrastructure, but a lot of residents and experts say these new developments could put a strain on resources, and not everybody is on board. And right now, Julia Spencer joins us in the studio right now with a look at what's coming. So Julia, tell me all about this Project Jupiter.
Right, so it's another data center coming to the borderland, and this, we got the announcement of Meta coming today, so that's 2 in the borderland now. Now, Project Jupiter, that's what we're talking about here, and it's not just the planet out there in space. Okay. No, so it's actually an AI data center coming to Doña Ana County. That's right in our backyard, right? So this initiative, it's part of a bigger initiative actually called Project Stargate. This is an AI data center project that's expanding nationwide. And the one coming in Doña Ana County is just one piece of the puzzle. Now, this Project Jupiter is coming along with promise of jobs and an investment into the economy, but it's also raising questions about the water, the energy, and the community impact in this region. Go ahead and take a look. I do break it down.
Project Jupiter isn't just another tech campus. It's a central piece of Stargate, a national pipeline project bringing new AI infrastructure across the country. One in Santa Teresa, New Mexico, Abilene, Texas, Milam County, Texas, Shackleford County, and Lordstown, Ohio.
Announcing the formation of Stargate. So put that name down in your books, because I think you're going to hear a lot about it in the future.
Project Stargate is part of President Trump's initiative to expand U.S. advancement in artificial intelligence. He first announced it in January alongside the owners of OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank, all technology and software-based companies. The price tag, $500 billion in total investment, and part of that is happening right in our backyard. So why here? Well, developers say the desert location offers open land, available infrastructure, and access to regional energy corridors. And Project Jupiter is just one piece of the puzzle. After several public meetings and debate, Doña Ana County commissioners voted to move the project forward in September. Hundreds of residents turned out, some in strong support.
The opportunities for our youth and for our current workforce, and have New Mexico participate in the economic development explosion that's happening around the country and around the world.
But not everyone is convinced.
It's just going to be another hazard. We already have the landfill, we have the power plant, we have Asarco, and they just come, private companies come, make money, and they leave.
According to the project website, Project Jupiter and Stargate promise to limit water use to domestic employee needs, build and supply their own power for the facility, and create 2,500 plus construction jobs and 750 permanent jobs. Still, many in the community say they're watching closely to see whether these promises hold up once construction begins.
Well, we should mention that the Borderplex Digital that you just saw there, they're getting a huge tax break, so they won't have to pay property taxes on that 1,400-acre campus.
Yeah, that's right. So instead, they're actually promising the county $360 million over the next 30 years. Now, that's a big chunk of money, and that's about $12 million a year if we do break it down. Now, the company is making a commitment to put $50 million towards upgrading water and wastewater systems across Doña Ana County. Now that part right there is a pretty big deal, because especially considering if we look at our past reports and look at the long history of Doña Ana County and the poor drinking water in places like Sunland Park and Santa Teresa. Now for residents, that money could mean real improvements to local water and sewer infrastructure instead of getting, possible alleged dirty water coming out of their drains. And that's the kind of impact that could last decades.
Well, we asked our viewers online, are you in favor of these tech centers coming to the borderland?
Well, according to this poll we have on our website at cbsforlocal.com, 48% of our viewers so far have said they are in favor of these AI data centers coming to the borderland, whereas 52% are against. Now that is a pretty close statistic right there.
I'd say that's roughly split. Yeah, 48%, 52, but it does show you just how much there is a real opposition, whether it's a majority or not. A lot of people don't want their water and energy to be used for these sorts of projects. And it looks like, 100 jobs is a lot, but I do think people picture billions of dollars of an investment, they think it should be thousands of jobs.
Right, so there's both sides to the spectrum, and again, we'll see what happens, once construction begins.
And guys, there's a lot to follow on this story. There's obviously building's going to go on for a while. There might be more to come for the region. So follow us here both on air and at our website, cbs4local.com, as we dig into all of this.